Hi, I'm Gary White for Central Kentucky Television. I'm here with Bob O'Daniel. We're in Lebanon, and we're going to be talking about a seminar that's going to be coming to Lebanon on July 25th. It is Understanding Sports Concussions, and it's being brought to our area by the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky, of which Bob is one of the founders and also on the board of directors, correct?
I'm on the board of directors of it.
Yeah. So tell us about this seminar that's going to be coming. Again, it's Understanding Sports Concussions. It's going to be July 25th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. at Angelic Hall here in Lebanon. And who should attend this seminar?
Anybody who has any concerns about concussions. We're trying to reach out to all of our coaches of youth sports, any parents of youth that are in sports like that. A lot of our youth, unfortunately, will get a concussion playing sports. Just head trauma. It's a part of being in sports. It happens. Mm-hmm. And we want people to understand the ramifications of concussions, what they need to do about concussions, and how to take care of them.
Right. And also there are some new laws with regards to this issue, correct?
Yes, that's Mr. Julian Takut, who is the commissioner of Kentucky Athletic Association. He will be there that night talking about the new laws that require about the concussions and so forth. He actually wrote the laws.
Okay.
So he understands them real well. So he's going to be there discussing it with people. So hopefully that'll help. The biggest key is, though, he only covers the high schools. Our youth sports, in other words, our youth football, our youth basketball leagues, our youth soccer leagues, they all are independent leagues of sort. They're not really governed by any particular associations, so they are not mandated to follow any certain rules. So we're wanting to educate the coaches and the people who run these programs about concussions and what they need to do.
Okay. And you're going to actually have a doctor on hand as well.
Yeah, Dr. Taz Seifert. He is from Norton Sports Clinic in Louisville. From what I've been told, and I've heard this from several people, he is the foremost guy in the state of Kentucky on concussions. That's his specialty, concussions. That's pretty much what he does. I know St. Catherine College uses him. Mm-hmm. I know of a couple of people here in town I have talked to in the last 2 months since I've been trying to get this thing up and going about concussions, that they have gone to him.
Okay.
So, he is aware of Lebanon. He's been down to Lebanon before. He's been out here to the hospital. There's some information about the gentleman.
Okay. He studied at the University of Oklahoma, mm-hmm. College of Medicine, and then also interned at U of L and has residency from Texas in Houston, mm-hmm. as well. So he's going to be on hand telling us the medical elements. Right.
This program that we're having, it starts at 6 o'clock in the evening. Mm-hmm. That way people can get there from work and so forth.
And it is free.
It's a freebie. Dr. Seifert will be the first person who will be speaking. We figure he'll speak for about 45 minutes, then we'll open it up to questions. Because, every time you go to one of these things, we don't want, I want people to be able to ask, okay, what happens if? Or what happens if?
Right.
Because it's always in the back of your mind, what if?
Right.
So, this way, we're leaving time for people to ask questions and so forth. And then we'll probably take a small break for people because after we sit so long, we sort of go.
Need to get up.
Get up, move around, circulate a little bit, then Mr. Takut will speak after that.
Okay, and it is being brought to us by the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky, of which Bob is on the board of directors for that. What is the mission of the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky?
Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky, their main mission is to make awareness available about brain injuries. Not just concussions. See, brain injury it's a wide thing. A stroke is a brain injury. Mm-hmm. An aneurysm That's a brain injury.
Right.
Anything that will damage the brain, you know, it's just like, you know, these laws that Mr. Takut got pushed through, that with the Brain Injury Alliance pushing through the legislation. You know, there's always some sort of legislation that we're trying to get through in Frankfort to protect people. Right. We're not trying to take, you know, people's rights away from them, this, that, and the other. We're trying to protect people and ensure safety. People don't realize what it costs for a brain injury.
Right.
You know, and the problem about it is a lot of times when a person has a brain injury, it's going to fall. It'll end up falling back to the state, to the Medicaid program, or some kind of state program to take care.
Right.
And you know, then the cost is borne by everybody.
Right.
And
there's emotional costs and financial costs.
Well, the financial cost is one thing. The hardest thing to deal with on brain injury, you know, and I'm speaking from first-hand experience because my son has a brain injury from a car wreck 18 years ago, and it's still a daily thing. I mean, I'm lucky. You know, he was in a car wreck in Georgetown, Kentucky. He survived it. You know, he's fine, but it's like you said, the emotional, you know, you have other problems with the impulsiveness. You have impaired judgment. You know,
right.
You know, my son is 35 years old, and right now his basic problem is he has no short-term memory. So basically, I got a 35-year-old son with Alzheimer's. That's what it amounts to. He can tell me everything he did when he was growing up, down to the T, but he cannot tell me what he did 5 minutes ago. You know, and every person who has a brain injury will have something different.
Right.
You know, like I was telling you beforehand, what hurts you and causes you to do one thing after a brain injury will not affect me the same way. And that's what's really strange about brain injury. The brain is such a complicated thing. You know, nobody's ever been able to figure it out yet. So it's just...
There's a lot of wonder there.
Well, yeah.
But what we're going to learn about here are particularly with sports concussions, because as we know, starting in August, school will begin again. There's a lot of fall sports that will be occurring for, as you said, Little League as well as all the different schools, intramurals as well. So this will be some information for parents, coaches, teachers, anybody that they can come and learn about. If somebody is suffering a concussion, how can you tell, and also what you should do. But also, for those who are in a position of authority,
right,
it will have the legal aspects as well. So there's kind of like two parts to it.
Yeah, that's what we wanted to cover. We wanted to cover both sides of it. When we started up this thing, I was first looking at putting a program strictly about brain injury. And then after talking to the people in Louisville at the Brain Injury Alliance, we sort of narrowed it down to concussions. That way we could get specific in a plan.
Right.
And so that's what we came to. Brain injury starts there, concussions. Right. You know, the first concussion usually does not hurt a person that badly, other than the headaches and stuff of that nature. It's that second and third concussion that if the first was not diagnosed, that will cause the major problems. And unfortunately, and if people have been around a while, you know, you get to my age, you know, we used to get our heads banged on all the time when they said, you all right, get back in there. You don't do that anymore because, you know, they have learned a lot more since that time about the brain, about how it operates. But, you know, we don't need to be pushing our kids back into after they get their head, like they say, I got my bell rung.
Yeah. You need to pay attention to that.
Yeah, you know, err on caution, if anything, because, you know, it may not affect you today, it will affect you maybe 6 weeks from now. It may affect you a month from now.
Right.
It happens, you know. I've had people that say, well, my kid's fine. Well, you're not necessarily fine. You know, my grandson had a concussion a year and a half ago where he fell off a bicycle. Of course, I took him to the hospital. We had all the tests run. Everything was great that day. No problems whatsoever. All he had was a small headache. The next day, that next evening, he started having seizures. had never had them before in his life. That's the things you have to watch out for. He ended up being at UK for 4 days.
Wow. And he's okay now?
Oh, he's fine now.
Good.
Can't slow him down.
Yeah. So it's going to, excuse me. So it's going to be July 25th from 6 to 8:30 p.m. It's at Angelic Hall on Spalding Avenue in Lebanon at Center Square. Do people need to call to register or just show up?
Just show up. We have, I think, almost 275 seats available at Angelic Hall, if my memory's right.
Yeah.
And so, well, first come, first serve. You know, we did this. Did this for a 5-county area. I've contacted every county judge, every school superintendent, a lot of the coaches and mayors in a 5-county area. We're looking to cover Marion, Washington, Taylor, Greene, and Adair County. You know, I sort of looked at what area of the state is not being covered, and I sort of made the area myself. Yeah. So that's what we're going after.
Okay. And again, it's Understanding Sports Concussions. It's going to be on July 25th, 6 to 8:30 p.m. It's a free seminar. Come on out. It's open to everybody, being brought to you by the Brain Injury Alliance of Kentucky. And if somebody has questions, can they give you a call?
Just give me a call.
Okay, and it's Bob O'Daniel. It's 502-507-3686. And thank you very much for organizing this for us.
Thank you. That's something I've been wanting to do for quite a while. This, you know, once you have somebody who has a brain injury or something like that, you want to do something.
Yeah. And hopefully prevent it from other people having to suffer with that. Well, thank you very much.
No problem.
All right,
Thank you.
This has been Gary White for Central Kentucky Television.